Welcome. In our October scheduling series, we're going way beyond just talking about time management. This explainer is for all of you, our family support workers at Guardian Light. We're going to reframe scheduling as what it really is, a powerful therapeutic tool. It's how we help families transform chaos into real, lasting hope.
You know, this quote right here, it really gets to the very heart of the matter. For the families we work with, time itself can feel like an enemy, something they can't control. So when we talk about creating a schedule, we're not just talking about being organized. We're talking about building safety, where there's only ever been chaos.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the science behind that survival mode. Then, we'll talk about your crucial role in modeling safety. After that, we'll dive right into the practical, hands-on skills that build predictability, all leading up to our biggest goal, creating hope through structure.
Okay, so what does survival mode actually look like in a home? It is so critical to remember this isn't about a lack of caring or a lack of effort. It's biological. It's the brain's hardwired response to living with constant stress and instability.
And this chart illustrates it perfectly. You've got these two states we're working with. On the left, the survival brain. It's just reactive, always putting out fires, totally focused on the next 5 minutes. But on the right, you have the planning brain. That's where calm, forward thinking happens. Our entire job is to help families build a bridge from the left side of this chart to the right.
So how do we actually build that bridge? Well, it starts with you. As a family support worker, you are the most powerful tool for change we have. Why? Because you get to model what safety and predictability feel like, maybe for the very first time in their lives.
And listen, this isn't about giving a lecture or a list of rules. It's about what you embody. You become the calm in their storm. Every single on-time visit, every promise you keep, it sends this powerful nonverbal message that says, hey, reliability is possible. The world can be predictable. You are safe with me.
This is exactly why it's so powerful to normalize this with your own language. When you share how you use routines, it just demystifies the whole process. It turns scheduling from this big, intimidating chore into a totally human skill for managing stress, something anyone can learn to do.
Okay, now we get to the what. What are those foundational skills that really start to break that cycle of chaos? Think of these as the very first building blocks for creating a sense of order and safety.
We always start with routines. And this is not just about getting things done more efficiently. This is about biology. Consistent patterns, even really small ones, send a direct signal to the nervous system that the constant danger is gone. It's literally a way of telling the brain, hey, you can stand down now. You know what's coming next.
What's really fascinating is how routines do this. They kind of act like a filter for the brain. By making basic decisions automatic, like what's for breakfast or when we put our shoes on, routines cut down on all that mental noise. And that frees up precious brain space for the important stuff, like connection and emotional regulation.
The next step is to make time something you can touch. For a family that's been living in chaos, time is this abstract enemy, right? Visual schedules literally pull time out of thin air and stick it on the wall. It transforms time from a threat into a concrete, predictable friend.
And honestly, the tool itself is way less important than just using it consistently. It doesn't matter if it's a sticky note on the fridge or a shared Google Calendar. The goal is exactly the same. Externalize the plan. Get it out of someone's head where it's causing stress and put it into a shared space where it creates calm.
All right, so once that basic foundation of predictability is starting to set, we can introduce some more advanced strategies. These are the tools that give families a real sense of agency and control over their lives, maybe for the very first time ever.
Backward planning is one of my absolute favorites because it directly rebuilds a skill that gets so damaged in survival mode, the ability to think ahead. It takes a huge, overwhelming goal and just breaks it down into small, bite-sized steps. It turns "that's impossible" into a clear, totally achievable path. And this is so much more than just logistics. This is neurological. Every little step a parent checks off their list gives them a tiny hit of dopamine that strengthens the brain's reward system and teaches the nervous system that, yes, their actions can actually create positive results.
Next up is prioritizing. Because when you're in survival mode, everything feels like a 5-alarm fire that needs to be put out right now. This skill gives families permission to just slow down, to decide what truly matters for their safety and stability. It helps them shift from that reactive state to a proactive one.
The must, should, could method is a total game changer. It's such a simple way to make priorities visible,
slash all that anxiety, and give a family an immediate sense of mastery over their day. By focusing only on the must, they get to feel successful, they get a win.
You know how those huge long-term problems, like dealing with court or finding housing, can feel absolutely paralyzing? Well, short-term goal setting is the antidote. It breaks down those overwhelming challenges and lets a family experience a success today. And that is so critical for rebuilding the belief that progress is even possible.
You see, every small goal they meet isn't just a task getting done. It's a reinforcement of their own capability. It strengthens those key executive functions, and this is huge. It restores a family's trust in their own ability to follow through.
Okay, let's bring all of this together. Because these skills, routines, visual schedules, planning, prioritizing, they are so much more than just little organizational hacks. They are powerful, evidence-based therapeutic tools. What this really shows is how each small, structured step builds on the last one. And it leads to this profound transformation. You're not just helping organize a calendar, you are helping a family move from constantly reacting to crisis to intentionally living their lives. And this is the ultimate why. Structure creates predictability. Predictability allows the nervous system to finally take a breath and rest. And in that quiet space, for the very first time, there is room for connection, for healing, and for real, sustainable hope to finally grow. I'll leave you with that question to think about as you go into your next visit. Thank you so much for tuning into this explainer, and thank you for the incredible, life-changing work you do for our families every single day.